You ever board a train and feel like someone's watching? You glance around, but everyone's buried in their phones, their books, their lies. Now imagine the stranger beside you. Has no face, no eyes, no mouth, just nothing. I'm Detective Drayk, and tonight we're diving into a case that starts with a faceless man, ends with a blood-stained truth, and will leave you wondering. Who's really sitting next to you? Why keep watching? Because by the end, you'll realize monsters don't need faces to hide in crowds. It began on the 8:15 p.m. express to Ravenswood. I was chasing a lead on a missing persons case, barely glancing at the passengers around me, until he sat down. At first I thought it was a trick of the light, a shadow, but when I turned, the man beside me had nothing. Smooth skin where his face should have been. No features, no expression, just a blank wax-like mask. My blood went cold. Before I could speak, the train lurched, lights flickered, and when they steadied, he was gone. All that remained was a single ticket stub on the seat. Row 12B, reserved. The audience, you, were with me as I moved down the aisle. "Check the bathroom," you shouted. I did. Empty. But the sink was damp, the mirror fogged with a single word: help. Then the screams started. A woman in car 3, Martha Voss, 52, collapsed in her seat, clawing at her throat. By the time I reached her, she was dead. Cyanide in her coffee, and clutched in her hand another ticket stub. Row 12B, reserved. The suspects were strangers bound by that cursed seat. First, a twitchy college student, Jake, who'd been filming the entire ride for his Urban Legends channel. His camera caught the faceless man, but the footage glitched, pixelating his face. Then there was Ms. Porter, a retired nurse with a purse full of prescription vials. And finally, a silent, broad-shouldered man in a trench coat, Mr. Black, who vanished when I tried to question him. But the real clue? The ticket stubs. Row 12B didn't exist. The train only had 10 cars, unless... "Check the conductor," you yelled. I did. He swore no one had booked 12B, but his hands shook as he said it. That's when I noticed his name tag, E. Graves, the same surname as a man who'd gone missing from this line 6 months ago. His photo? A carbon copy of the conductor. The train screeched to a halt in a tunnel. Lights died, pitch black. When they flickered on, Mr. Black was standing over me, a syringe in hand. I dodged, but he hissed, "You shouldn't have looked for 12B. Then he bolted. The chase led me to the cargo car. Inside, crates stamped Biolab Inc., a pharmaceutical company linked to Martha's cyanide. But beneath the crates, a hidden compartment, and inside, files, experiment logs, photos of passengers with their faces blurred. The faceless man wasn't a ghost. He was patient zero of a drug trial gone wrong, a neural toxin that erased memories and identities, leaving victims as blank slates. Biolab had been testing it on unsuspecting commuters. Martha was a whistleblower. The conductor, a paid puppet. But the final twist? Mr. Black wasn't the killer. He was a victim. His face, stolen, rewritten, forced to silence anyone who threatened the trial. The real mastermind was Jake, the student filmmaker. His camera wasn't just filming. It was scanning faces for the toxin's next targets. As I cornered him in the engine room, he smirked. "You still don't get it, detective. The faceless man, he's everyone." Then he jammed a syringe into his own neck. His features melted like wax, leaving him blank. So you see, this case was anything but simple. A train full of liars, a face that wasn't there, and a truth that vanished into thin air. But that's the thing about monsters. They don't need masks. They just need you to look away. And the man with no face was just the beginning.